Today I'm sharing some whimsical woodland Christmas table decor. Welcome to CreArtive by Nature DIYs and Decor. My name is Donna. So before we start to decorate our table, I needed to make a couple of accessories. I'll be using this brown craft paper that I got from xTool, and here I am using this tree silhouette that I got from creativefabrica.com in the xTool creative space. Now I am going to be creating 3 different sizes: an 8-inch tree, 6-inch tree, and a 4-inch tree, and I need 6 pieces of each tree. I want to utilize that paper as best I can, so I am going to be filling up the sheet. I am going to be using my xTool machine that I received from xTool. It's the xTool M1. It is a hybrid machine. I'm going to be using the blade cut setting and the craft paper as the material used. So here it has cut it all out. I was able to get 2 of the 8-inch trees out of 1 piece of paper, 3 of the 6-inch trees out of 1 piece of paper, and 6 of the 4-inch trees out of 1 sheet of paper. I'm going to show you how you can put together the 4-inch trees. So the xTool M1 doesn't come with a scoring tool for paper, so I'm going to be doing this manually by using the scoring tool on my Fiskars paper trimmer. You want to add a score line down the middle of each of your tree and then fold them in half, just like I'm showing you right here. Again, you will need a total of 6 tree cutouts per tree that you will be creating. I'm going to be putting these together using a glue stick as well as some wet glue. I'm going to be applying the glue stick to the back of one of our trees, and then I'm going to take another tree and I'm going to just pinch 2 of the sides together, and you will be doing the same thing for each piece. You just want to make sure as you go along that you don't pinch the opening close until you add your last piece. So I'm just going to continue to add some glue and then add my pieces together. Now I will admit I didn't get these perfectly aligned, but once you're done putting these together, you're not even going to notice. So this is our last piece, and I'm just going to put that in, and this is where I will pinch all the sides off and make sure it's all put together. All right, so now I'm going to add just some wet glue, and this does have a precision tip. You can see I'm adding it in the middle as well as any spots that didn't seal up. Here are all their trees. So for our next accessory, I'm using this 3mm basswood on the triangle prisms, and I am going to need to ventilate as we are laser cutting. You'll need to remove the blade to do this step. I am using these ornament designs that I got from designbundles.com, but I only use a total of 6. So I've already put the settings in my machine. It's in the creative space, laser flat, 3mm balsam plywood, and I needed to cut these. Now the xTool M1 is a hybrid machine, as I mentioned before, so it can laser cut, laser engrave, and blade cut. If you are at all interested, I will have more information for you linked down in the description box, along with my more in-depth video tutorial. So I'm loving how these nature-inspired ornaments cut out. I was so blown away by the detail. I'm going to really enjoy having these on my table for Christmas. So I wanted to back these with some scrapbook paper that have a snowflake pattern. So I'm just going to decide on which I want on which paper. I am just going to lay out the different designs on the paper just to see what I like. Now I'm just going to show you how to apply the ornament to the paper. So I'm using my precision tip glue again, and I'm going all over the back of the ornament, and I'm making sure I'm getting those tiny little details as well. Next, I'm just using my finger and I'm spreading the glue out, and then you're going to want to press the ornament face down, like the glue side down, onto the right side up of your paper, just like I am right here. I'm going to allow the glue to set, and then I am going to use my scissors just to cut out each individual ornament, just to make it easier to trim off all the excess paper. Now, to remove the excess paper, I'm using a cutting mat and a utility blade, and I'm just going around, butting the knife right up against the edge, and I'm removing the excess. Now you could use like a sanding block or something like that to remove excess, but I didn't want to remove the staining that occurred around the edge. So all our ornaments are ready to go. I'm going to add a little punch through the hole so we can put a string to hang our ornaments. Now I am going to actually use these as some little place setting. So I'm just going to cut a strand, fold it in half, pull that loop through the hole, and then pull the strands through the loop, and then tie a knot at the top, and that makes a great hanger for an ornament. So I felt like it needed just a tiny bit more detail, so I'm just going to add a little bow on the top. Now, the machine can engrave, so I could have put like the date or say somebody's name underneath there where the bear is, but I decided to leave that just blank because I wasn't sure who's all showing up. And plus I couldn't do that with the snowflake version. So I'm just going to add a little touch of hot glue here just to hold the bow down. And you could add something to the back of the ornament if you'd like, but I decided to leave mine plain. So now I'm all ready to start to decorate. I already have my tablecloth in place. It's nice and cozy. And I also have a table runner that I got from burlapfabric.com. It is linen. You can see I'm placing these beautiful branches that I had foraged, and they got a beautiful lichen on them. I love to use branches like this. So I just placed them randomly in the middle. Next, I am going to be using these candles that I had made. I'm going to have the links to those tutorials down in the description box as well. I'm just going to place those randomly across the table. Now, I didn't turn them on just yet because I'm trying to save the batteries. Same with these, I'll have that tutorial as well. It's part of the larger primitive candle that you can see there. Next, I'm adding some foraged birch bark. I love to forage birch bark. It's one of my favorite things to use. I've found these really curly pieces, so I'm just adding those here and there across the middle of the table. Now I'm adding these beautiful pine cones. Again, same thing, just adding them throughout, as well as this foraged moss and this preserved reindeer moss that I got from my local dollar store. Now, as I'm adding the moss, I'm just going to be lifting some of the pieces up and then tucking the moss underneath. I'm also going to use the preserved reindeer moss to like hide the candle base or any battery packs that you may have. And it's really nice and flexible, so it's a great moss to use for little applications such as this. So I'm just going to continue to add some moss, and I will probably go back in and add a little bit more. Now I'm adding these cute mushrooms that I had made. I'm going to have a tutorial, again, linked in the description box. I'll have all the links for you in the comments section as well, just to make it a little easier for you to find all those links I am mentioning. So I'm just adding these cute little velvet toadstools throughout. I love these. They are such a fun and whimsical touch to the table decor. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some fairy lights. These fairy lights have got a nice small little battery pack, so I was able to hide that really well. And there is a total of 30 lights, but of course feel free to use whatever battery operated fairy lights you can get your hands on. These particular ones I got from a local store, so I'm not sure if they are available elsewhere or not. So I have looked before and I couldn't find them on Amazon, but anyway, so here I'm turning on my lights because I just wanted to see how everything was looking so far. These are all battery operated as well, so I'm just going to turn those on. And now I'm adding those beautiful 3D trees that we had made. Now, a fun thing I thought to do would be maybe to add some tree stumps to them as well, but I decided just to leave them plain like this. They were easier to place throughout. So I did make sure that my large one was kind of closer to the center, and then the smaller ones I kind of just scattered throughout. I'm just loving the texture that these give. It is just absolutely beautiful. All right, so for another natural touch, I am adding these real evergreens that actually were trimmings off of our tree. And I'm also going to go ahead and add some more pine cones, some smaller ones. These evergreens give a beautiful scent, so it's always a nice touch, but you just want to make sure you add them closer to when you are going to be hosting any dinners because they do dry out. There's no water source. Here's a little tip. To clean off your table of all that debris, just use one of those sticky rollers and just roll it over across the table and it picks it up all really, really well. So for our place setting, I'm using these bamboo placemats that I got from Pier 1 several years ago. I'm using these white dishes that I got from IKEA, our cutlery from when we got married, and this beautiful etched glassware that I received from my mom. It's got a little dragonfly on it, so I thought it was perfect for a woodland theme. I got these napkins from a store here in Canada called Superstore. Aren't they gorgeous with the birch trees and the owls? I'm just folding it in half and then I'm going to place our woodland ornament on top. It's so simple but yet so effective and is perfect for a woodland theme. So I'm going to give you a snapshot of what all our different ornaments look like. And I thought it would be the perfect little gift for your guests to take home. So here I'm just adding a last touch of some beautiful faux snow. I thought it would just add to that winter wonderland look. And then you can sit back and enjoy the beautiful whimsical woodland tablescape scene that we created for Christmas. I would love to know what was your favorite project by leaving me a comment down below. I want to say a big thank you to all of you for joining me today, as well as to xTool for sending me the machine to try out. I truly appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.